Hey guys, what's up?
What's up? Welcome to Far
Far
Out Friday. Jazz hands, jazz hands. How are you doing? We are excited to be here today. We are going to be talking about some more weird stuff.
Crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff. So last week we talked about monoliths, and oh my gosh, like we're going to have another episode on that because there has been so many more since just last Friday. And I just can't even get over how many more keep popping up and all the different theories that are coming from it. So we're definitely going to touch on that soon. But today we're actually touching on the upcoming Christmas star, or the supposed Christmas star, that is coming. What day? The 21st, right? December 21st?
So yeah, it's supposed to be at its peak on the 21st.
Interesting. And so it's an alignment of planets, right?
Jupiter and Saturn.
And it hasn't happened in 800 or so years. I think I looked up the date, and the last time it was like 1244 AD.
So yeah, like I know people are saying that this type of conjunction or alignment happens like every 20 years or so, but like no, this is closer than ever before. Like this is the closest that they have ever been in the past 800 years. So yeah, it's a big deal because they're actually like becoming one.
It's crazy. And it's supposed to be like so big and so bright. That's why they're calling it the Christmas star or the Star of Bethlehem, because anybody who knows what that is the star that appeared over the stable where Jesus was born. So it has some biblical connotations attached to it. We, of course, have thought some other outside of the box ideas too, and apparently we're not alone in that thinking, that it might be more alien-esque. So I don't know. I started Googling like conspiracy theories about the Christmas star or what is the Christmas star, and I have come across some pretty wild thoughts. I don't know what you've found. Have you found anything that's weird?
I mean, there's some people talking about, it's actually the end of the world because the Mayans got it wrong when they typed 2012 or whatever. But you know what I mean.
Put out 2012, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's a dyslexic Mayan that wrote the calendar, blah, blah, blah. But no. So, like, I don't believe that it's going to be the end of the world at all. I don't feel like this world is ever truly going to end, ever. Like, honestly. I feel...
It's going to keep evolving, that's for sure.
I like this article that I just pulled up. It totally resonates with me as far as like how I feel about this whole event.
Yeah.
It's an article on foreverconscious.com. It's the cosmic and spiritual significance of December 21st, 2020.
I like this. Sounds much more positive.
It is. And that's the thing. Like I always try to see the good in what's happening around us because I feel like all the doomsday stuff is pretty terrible, and it's, who wants to live their life like that? And even if it does happen, it happens. Like, what am I gonna do about it?
You can't change what's happening. Yeah, don't stress over it.
Yeah. So like the way that I see it though is just like this. It says the Great Conjunction occurs every 20 years or so, and is when both Jupiter and Saturn align at the same time or at the same degree of the zodiac. The Great Conjunction represents the changing of an era.
Yes.
And a time where we shift our way of viewing the world.
Yes.
So for me, that's the way that I see it, is like, this is a sign of the level of consciousness being raised. We're changing our values, the way that we view the world, the way that we view ourselves. And it's a signal of changing into a new era, and which would bring us into the age of Aquarius.
Yes.
So we are at the dawning of that age of new values and love and free flowing energy and just creative, being creative. So I really, really love this article.
That sounds like the best song ever.
The Age of Aquarius.
Yes. I'm thinking of Cake's version.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
I think it's Cake. Maybe I'm mixing it up. I think it's Cake. I'll have to find it, but it's good.
Maybe it is. But yeah, so like that's the way I see it. It's just a sign of like the energy is right and the time is right. It's a signal of the times changing. We're moving into a new era. And it's a beautiful time for people because we're changing the way that we view ourselves and the world, and we're valuing different things than had been previously valued for the last 200 years.
Right.
Like it says, for the last 200 years, Jupiter and Saturn have been aligning only in Earth signs. But this year, on December 21st, 2020, Jupiter and Saturn will align in the air sign of Aquarius. So we're moving forward from the earthly things to the ether things.
I like it.
You know, so we're thinking more spiritually, more creatively. And yeah, it's like if you think about like the generations past, what their values were, they were all very physical and materialistic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that kind of vibe. That's why the American dream was so popular for people. You know, they wanted to have all of the shiny new things that we talk about weigh us down, and they trap us into the system. Well, this new era, we're starting to shift our perspectives and realize all of those material things are a trap, and we want to free ourselves of that and be like the air and flow.
Yeah.
So
and it's true. That's
what
I feel like more than ever, we're in a time of contention and not knowing what's truth. And what I've found in my life is that if somebody is doing something wrong to you, or you're being lied to, whatever it may be, the truth always comes out. The truth always is spoken, and
in time,
yeah. And you're always going to find the truth, especially if you're seeking it. But
oh my gosh,
I mean, with this new way of thinking and this new idea of being born, it makes total sense that this is like the start of the new. And I mean, we should want to renew ourselves all the time. Like that whole New Year's resolution, like starting new and being fresh and I'm gonna do this, is such a good thing, but we should try to keep that up all the time. But now
it's just like with anything else.
Yeah.
You know, tweaking yourself as you go to make yourself better.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Like, I think I said it to you this week. I said, you know, every inch forward, it turns into a foot, and then it turns into a mile. And you keep growing. So keep moving towards the good. And maybe that's what this whole like weird things that are happening have to do with just new perspective, new and dawning of a new age. Like that's just that's such a cool way to look at it, and it's so much better than we're all gonna die.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's gonna always be the people in the world who try to see the doomsday side of things, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. That's the way they choose to see the world and live their life. But for me, and my compartment that I want to be a positive person. I want to be happy in this life and have the best experience that I possibly can, so that I can give the best of myself to those around me.
100%.
So definitely looking at this whole experience as a good thing is where I like to be.
I think it's a good, I think it's great. And I'm glad that you found that article. We'll definitely link it in the description so you can check it out too. Because like when I was looking doing some research on this topic, there was so many, like, some of them are matter of fact, like this is science, this is what's happening, this is why it's happening. Some of them are very conspiracy theory, like the latest one that I just found was, this is so far out there, but maybe it's real, was Tom DeLonge from Blink-182.
Oh yeah, what happened?
So he's got this theory that the star is actually an alien spaceship, I think is what he was saying, and that there was aliens when Jesus was born, and like it's just so crazy far out there even for him. Like, I'm really surprised of all the people that this is the theory that he's got. And you know what, he's a creative mind, he's a musician, so I get it. But
we come up with some crazy ideas
holy
sometimes,
smokies, like what? Like
You never
Insane.
know.
Insane. I mean, it could be. It could be the
Maybe in
star
one
might.
version of reality, that's what it was. Like, you never know. Anything that we imagine is existing somewhere on some level of a version of reality.
Yes.
Like, everything that we can imagine it exists somewhere.
Somewhere.
So, yeah.
And that's why maybe we feel like we've experienced things before, because maybe we have.
Yeah.
Deja vu. It reminds me of The Matrix. I just watched that this last week, and I was like, man, this movie like is so today. Like, it feels like we're living in The Matrix, and I love it. That what you just said got me thinking about alternate realities. Have you ever watched the show Dark?
No.
Oh, it's far out there, man. Like, super far out. So, okay, I'm really into time travel. I'm obsessed with the idea of it. I love the idea of just being able to go back in time. But I also like the idea of that there's parallel universe. So, like, was it the movie Interstellar? Like, how there's like this like parallel universe where they connect. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to put that movie into words, but Interstellar is a really great one if you haven't seen it. It's very
I haven't seen that either.
Lots of thinking. It makes you think a lot.
The one thing that I kind of have personally experienced is I've done astral projection, and I've also done I call it cosmic tunneling.
Fun.
Because it's like where I'm traveling through tunnels with my consciousness.
Yeah.
Out of my body. It's kind of like a version of astral projection, but it's like through space and time and traveling through different versions of reality and experiencing myself in different versions of reality. So, like, I've had those experiences that have just completely blown my mind. And I mean, maybe we could talk about that on a different episode.
We should, because there's so many creatives out there that have made because I'm a big movie, TV show buff. There's so many that have created things that are related to that. Lost has an alternate universe. Interstellar, Dark is about time travel and bending of time and like fate and destiny. It's just a great. It's in German. Is it? But I like
that even better.
They voice over it, so it's like in English, but you can tell that they're not speaking English when they're talking.
Yeah.
It's a little bit dark. Duh, it's called Dark. But it's really interesting about time and fate, because it's not fate of a person, it's fate of the universe. And
well, I don't believe in time.
Well, right. I mean, that's the other part of it.
Time doesn't exist.
That's the other part of it, and that's what. And I haven't finished season 3 yet, but oh my gosh, if you're really into that sci-fi, time travel, bending of the universe thought, that's a good. It's a great. You should watch it. It's kind of.
Because
I'd like to know your perspective on it.
I think time travel. It's such a weird. I hate saying it like that because time doesn't exist. So what you're really doing, if you want to think about it, you're traveling with your consciousness to versions of you that exist simultaneously.
Yes.
Like, I believe that there's multiple universes or worlds that all exist in kind of like a circle out in the universe, like, right? So there's a world here, and then you've got another world that's really close to it right beside it, and then it keeps going around in a circle.
Right.
Like a ring of worlds.
Yes.
And then it doesn't stop there, though, but that's just kind of like the basic idea, is that there's a ring of worlds, and they're all connected really closely to each other. And in that version of the world, I exist, but I'm slightly different in certain ways, right? There's certain differences about that world and that version of reality, but it's very similar to the one that it's close to. And the farther you get away from that world, the more different they become.
That sounds like kind of sounds like Interstellar. More so sounds like Dark. But yeah.
So I've experienced this through cosmic tunneling or conscious tunneling, and it's so weird because after I experienced that, I actually was like, oh my God, there's a movie about this, and it's called The One by Jet Li.
That
Jet
sounds
Li made a movie called The One,
familiar.
where
Okay.
he kills himself in alternate versions of reality through tunneling.
Interesting.
He gets there by tunneling, conscious travel. But he kills himself in those versions of reality so he can become the most powerful version of himself.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so it's like, holy crap, like other people have experienced this too. So it's amazing.
That's exactly what
definitely
we're all connected people.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's
Yeah,
not a coincidence that we all have the same ideas sometimes.
Well, it's not that. It's like, it's not just an idea that I was like, oh, what would be cool to think about, but it was an experience that I had on psychedelics. So on this article that I mentioned before, there's a really cool point that I kind of want to tap into because it's something that we previously have talked about. But it talks about like under this grand conjunction, we could see a shift into more community-based living. Rather than looking to big governments or big business for support, we could instead turn to smaller community-run organizations, small businesses, local, keep it home grown type thing.
Yeah.
And that's something that you and I have been a very big supporter and advocate of, as far as like the way that we try to buy and the way that we try to support our communities and
being
things
more
like that. Yes,
self-reliant.
still buy from Amazon, unfortunately, but it's about bringing it in and bringing it home and bringing it more localized so that we can support our communities. And we talked about in the first episode of the podcast that got deleted about planting community gardens in parks and supporting our homeless and supporting our single mothers and supporting one another freely and allowing people to be more, connected and all that stuff. So I feel like this is a really good point in this article. Like, you guys should definitely check it out.
I think we should actually go back and retouch on those subjects that we talked about in the first episode on another live show and bring up those things because people didn't get to see, only a small amount of people actually got to see that episode. So I think it'd be good to talk about that, and we can even talk about this article that you're reading because it does it's such a good way to view this thing that's happening. I mean, it's definitely like not a coincidence because I don't believe in those, but
they don't exist. Yeah.
Interesting on the day. So it says this event is set to take place on December 21st, which also marks the winter solstice, bringing the shortest amount of daylight and the longest night. Interesting.
It's the dark night of the soul. So like if you think about what 2020 kind of has been for a lot of people, it's been a very dark night. It's been like the whole year.
Yes.
But it's not a bad thing. From darkness comes creativity. This is where we are planted in the darkness, and we are going to come out of this and we're going to like reveal our true self.
Well,
we're going to find ourselves in this darkness.
When it's so dark, we seek the light, and the light's coming. And that's what I do find it so fascinating. I say that a lot, that this is happening when it's happening, what it actually represents, the fact that it is going to be the darkest night with the brightest star. I mean, the symbolism is just crazy. It's
everything that we experience in this realm is symbolism. Everything that happens in our life is symbolic of something else. It's symbolic of an energy, symbolic of a way of thinking.
Yes.
So that's what I try to say. Like every time you open your eyes, you're seeing symbols of things. You're not seeing the true reality of what that is, right?
Right.
So we're seeing like the user-friendly interface of how to manage life in
the sugar-coated interface of life.
Not always, but yeah, like it's very user-friendly because we have a lot of things that, like that light over there. It's a lamp, but it's a light, and it represents so many things.
Yeah,
it brings so much to my life.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
It's like everything is like that in life, just like even where we live geographically, what the names of our cities are called, the numbers of, because I'm really into numerology, I really like reading about numerology and seeing how it really makes sense to everything in this universe is simulated by code and math. And so like
the Matrix.
and every number has a meaning. So,
Yeah.
like our numbers mean different things. But yeah, it's really interesting. Like this whole star thing, though, the way that it could potentially be tied together with the monoliths that we talked about.
I'm just excited for the reveal. Like, let's get on with it. I want to see.
Right. Well, my brother also had a very interesting experience that we're going to have him talk about the monolith thing when we do an update video for that.
For sure. You guys need to go get in the car and go see the one that's near you. I know.
Well, I have to look up, like,
is there one in Arizona yet?
I don't know. I have to
look.
Research it and try to find it, because if there is, I would definitely go. I will definitely go. And I'll take video and pictures and all that.
Yes. Well, I wanted to share what I read about when and where, or, well, where you can see it, but when you can see this bright shining star. And on the NBCChicago.com's article, what's it titled? When you can see the rare Christmas star in the sky this month. Blah, man, I can't speak. It says, according to the Adler Planetarium, the planets can be seen as early as December 16th and 17th, but the real show takes place the evenings of the 20th through the 22nd. It says, look to the southwest to see two objects fairly low in the sky. The brighter one is Jupiter, the dimmer one is Saturn.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I actually have a picture that I took through the telescope that
oh, that's right. You guys have a telescope. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I'll send it to you. It doesn't really look like much, but it's the best photo that I could get. And I got a picture of both Jupiter and Saturn. And so Jupiter is down below and Saturn is kind of like up. It was up to the left when I took the picture. So it's
cool.
really, really cool. So yeah, I'll send that to you right now so you can put it in the video if you want.
So you should take a couple photos as we get closer to the day. I mean, it's already the 16th. They're claiming we can see it starting today.
Mm-hmm.
So we typically record this episode before Friday so that we can release it on Friday. So it's actually the 16th right now. And
yes,
we could see it today. So we're going to go out and look tonight and see what we can see. And then maybe we'll share some pictures of what we see. And since Jessica has a telescope, she should share some pictures. So if you have some really cool pictures that you get of this when you go to see it, send them to us. We'd love to share them with our followers so they can see the different perspectives of what others are seeing.
Yeah.
I think it's just very cool. Oh, wow. Jessica just sent me the photos, and wow.
That's without a telescope. The ones with the telescope were actually a lot smaller, but they were brighter.
Interesting.
So, it was kind of like a little pinhole through the telescope. But I liked the ones without the telescope better.
They almost look fake.
I know.
That's so cool. I love it. This is really great. So we'll see what comes of this. I'm sure we'll talk about it again, and if some stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely curious to see if something happens with the monoliths, and I can't wait to see the conjunction of these two beautiful planets, and I can't wait to see what happens after with the level of consciousness for humanity being more geared towards community. Like, that is what I've been praying for and hoping for, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds for all of us.
Yes. So yes, I think more so we're all going to come together one way or another, whether it's because we have to survive together, live together, die alone, like they say on The Walking Dead. I mean, it's true. You gotta be able to embrace each other and love each other and work together.
Because you're essentially embracing and loving yourself.
Yes. Yep. We are all connected. We are all part of each other. And we're loving doing these little investigations, I like to call it, on what's the weird, wacky stuff that's happening in the world. And we'll definitely be sharing with you as we go, as we find out more things. So if you like these topics that we're talking about, please subscribe, follow us on social media. We'll post pictures on our Instagram and Facebook accounts, and you can see what we're finding. And please share with us, because you probably find something else that's cool and we want to know about it. So
yes, definitely.
yes,
yeah, definitely be sure to check out our next video. We also do our live show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 a.m. Hawaii time.
Woo!
Aloha, baby.
Aloha.
So yeah,
crazy. Aloha.
it's good. It's good. It's beautiful. Find your rainbows and be the ripple of love for everyone, for yourself, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.